The following program is a special presentation brought to you by WQOW 18.
From Carson Park in Eau Claire, we welcome you to a new prep football season, one that promises to be exciting, emotional, and historical. Alongside Evan Hong, I am Nick Tabbert. Thank you so much for joining us for Countdown to Kickoff.
Over the next 30 minutes, we'll tell you what teams did over the summer to improve and how they'll stack up against their conference rivals.
We'll also take you to Rice Lake, where moms met their sons at pad level for a unique practice.
I want to make an impact where if I wasn't here, they would miss me, they would notice.
And we'll share what this assistant coach means to Aliva Strum football and why she's doing it for free.
Plus, this is a milestone season for Chi High's Chuck Rakovich. We'll tell you about it in just a few minutes. Big changes are in store for the Big Rivers Conference next year. After the WIAA Realignment Task Force approved changes this spring, North and Memorial will break away from their BRC rivals in 2024.
This fall, the BRC will have a familiar look, but in 2024, the Huskies and Old A's will be members of the Wisconsin Valley Conference and play DC Everest, Marshfield, Stevens Point, Wisconsin Rapids-Lincoln, and Wausau West in conference games. The BRC will feature Chi High, Hudson, Menominee, New Richmond, Rice Lake, River Falls, and Superior.
There will be a mandatory crossover game to complete the conference schedule, and schools will still play 2 non-conference games, so North and Memorial will still have a chance to face Chi High, Menominee, or other rivals. It's important to remember this format is for 2024 and 2025 only.
Eau Claire Memorial started 3-0 last season, but then fell on hard times. Memorial's mindset this season is to clean up those mistakes when as a team and in the trenches. The Old A's will feature a lot of new faces on defense. The offense returns a good chunk of its starters.
We've embraced the mantra of average is the enemy, and that's what we're trying to do everything with, every little detail. And with that, the standards have risen, and the kids are rising to that standard.
We definitely might have the edge on some teams. I feel like we worked a lot harder this year than last year and all the years in the past, so I'm excited.
Memorial opens the season at La Crosse Logan on Friday.
Eau Claire North had some breakthrough wins last season, most notably right here against Menominee. North starting season 2 under head coach Matt McGinnis. Program numbers continue to rise. Summer strength training went well. Now the Huskies hope to capitalize on more opportunities on the field.
I've been waiting ever since week 9 last year. I'm just ready to get rolling. I mean, new team. You know, we lost a lot of seniors, but I'm ready for the season.
A lot of kids who want to work, a lot of kids who want to play. Everything's a strength for us this year, I feel like. It's just totally different. We got a new lifting program this year, and I just feel like we're ready to go.
North also in La Crosse for week 1. They'll play Central at UW La Crosse at 8 o'clock on Thursday. This month marks the end of an era for football between those two cities. La Crosse and Eau Claire have battled since the early 1900s, but with North and Memorial moving to the new conference, they will not be playing Central or Logan the next 2 years.
We're going to miss playing the Eau Claire schools. It's been a great tradition that we've had going on here for a long time. So it's the final chapter of that book, and we're hoping it's a good chapter for us.
It's been a great rivalry. Change is tough. But that's Wisconsin high school football right now, and we'll see what happens down the road.
It's been a good start for us. I think it's been a good barometer for our program each year to see how we can fit in against the Eau Claire schools. And as much as I enjoyed that, I'm also looking forward to something different.
The Crosstown Showdown is just 2 weeks away. Friday, September 1st, will be the 60th anniversary of the rivalry game. Former players will be at Carson Park to celebrate. That game starts at 7 p.m. Chippewa Falls head football coach Chuck Rakovich has been around for plenty of Countdown to Kickoff specials. 2023 marks his 38th season as head coach and his 50th year of coaching. When it comes to training and coaching, he says things have changed for the better since he got into the game.
Kids today are better athletes, and one of the reasons is the facilities that they have to work out in, and kids are more dedicated than they used to be. I mean, if you're a football player, you train year-round, and you might be involved in other sports, but you're training year-round now, and I like how we are today.
Chi High hosts Holman tomorrow night.
Menominee should be a contender for the Big Rivers Conference title this year. The Mustangs returned 16 of 22 starters. Many of them played most, if not all, of last season. Mike Sins says the commitment level has been, quote, unbelievable this offseason. Menominee has special players in all phases.
We have a ton of guys back on special teams. So that's nice. That's really nice because people kind of forget about that part of the game. You know, we'll try to balance the run and the pass this year, and we feel like we have some guys that can make plays on the perimeter, and we have some offensive linemen that started for us every game last year that are back.
Menominee hosts Rice Lake on Thursday.
Let's turn our attention now to the Clover Belt Conference. Regis and Mondovi, the top 2 finishers last year, both reached the state finals.
Regis's midnight practice is becoming a huge event. They sold concessions this year. The Ramblers will defend their D7 title with a little less experienced roster, but we've seen that lead to success before. Regis's focus reflects what's on the t-shirts, hunt from within.
Always keep hunting for ways to get better, you know, better as a program, better as an individual. I think that's a big challenge this year, is to stay on the hunt to find ways to get better.
Regis visits Prescott on Friday. That game played at UW River Falls. Mondovi football made it to state for the first time since 1990 last year. But not many key players from that state runner-up squad are coming back. Only 6 seniors are on Mondovi's roster. Mondovi is proud of what it accomplished last season, but not satisfied.
We don't want losing the state championship to be our best accomplishment. It's a mantra of a loser if you're talking about what you lost. Obviously we lost some good players. I feel like everybody did. We have a bunch of kids here that have worked really hard for their chance, and now it's their time.
Mondovi opens its season at home against GET on Friday. When you think of Durand, Arkansas football, you think of the run game, but in 2023, the Panthers are planning to mix up their playbook. The Panthers are young with more experience on defense than offense. In the last 2 seasons, they've had stud running backs who totaled hundreds of rush yards per game. But with inexperience on the O-line and in the backfield, expect the Panthers to air it out more often.
We want to be a tough-nosed team. I think every team wants to be a gritty team, tough-nosed, physical, and a lot of time that means kind of a running game, which we do. We want to create a running game, but we got to be able to throw the ball. We know we don't have the size this year to really pound it at teams, so we do need to run the ball, but we got to be very good at our short passing game.
Durand, Arkansas is at Spring Valley on Friday.
Fall Creek's program continues to grow. The Crickets are going to have a C team for the first time in years. But the program overall is young. 75% of the roster roughly is underclassmen. That's no excuse, says Tyler Mickelson. He knows he'll need some sophomores to play like seniors if Fall Creek is going to reach the postseason for a 4th year in a row.
Grade doesn't matter. Physically, you are where you are. Can you compete? Can you go hard? Can you reach that level of competition? And that's what these first 2-3 weeks are all about.
I'm just excited to see everyone, like the new starters, the new guys reaching up, the new guys getting more playing time. Just excited to see the new group of guys and all of us working together.
Fall Creek opens the season at Altoona on Friday. Water tower graffiti and a novel has changed how Elk Mound operates. After just 1 win last season, several players have taken the initiative to lead the team themselves this year. They found inspiration from a book titled The Twin Thieves and the words "seek discomfort" on a water tower.
Those twin thieves are the fear of failure and the fear of judgment, and that's like all in today's society. And if we can get past that and focus on ourselves and like fully embracing each other, we can work as a team to make the season great.
Elk Mound hosts Spooner on Friday.
Juniors and sophomores are setting the tone for Stanley Boyd. Jeff Koenig likes the energy, intensity, and mindset his Orioles carry. There's not a lot of negativity, and it's helping Stanley Boyd get better every day. The Orioles open the season at Cadott on Friday.
After failing to win a game last season, Osseo Fairchild is rebuilding its football program in 2023. With 13 seniors, a new playbook, and staff changes, the Thunder hope to go on a roll and reach the playoffs.
Putting wins on the board is number one, and I'm 100% confident we're going to make that happen this year.
I'm just going to try and help the young kids as much as I can and make sure that they follow the right path.
The Thunder open the season at Arcadia on Friday.
The Altoona Railroaders have been on a roll with 3 straight playoff appearances, and there's no plan to back the train up now. Chad Hansen is looking for every player in the program to step up to compete in a very competitive Cooley Conference.
It's going to take all of us just going as hard as we can every play, never backing down, never looking back, just moving forward.
Offensively, it's like a dance routine. I mean, you have to choreograph everything and have everything happen at the right time, and they have to work together in the end, and that's what it's all about. We have that experience, and now those linemen have to lead until the guys that are replacing in the backfield get ready to go.
After the break, we'll turn our attention to the Dun St. Croix and Dairyland conferences and tell you why this Eleva Strum coach continues to go above and beyond. Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff. Some of the biggest smiles you'll see on a football field came at Memorial's We Are One camp. It is a thrill every year to watch students with special needs bond with high school football players. You can see the full story on our website. We are joined now by sports reporter Brianna Reinhardt. Brianna, you had a chance to go one-on-one with a very dedicated coach at Oliva Strum.
Yes, and Coach Nadine really does have a heart of gold. She shared with us her passion for high school sports and just how she became involved in the football program.
Ready and switch! Switch! Switch!
Nadine Rovang may not look like your typical football coach, but her lifelong passion for the sport and track expertise has earned her a spot on the Oliva Strum sideline.
Go! 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 Go!
She volunteered to be an assistant coach for the program back in 2017 and has been coaching free of cost ever since.
I couldn't play football. You know, I did in the yard with the boys, but I couldn't play myself, so that was my way to be part of it.
Players describe her as the team's rock and say she brings energy like no other.
She comes fired up, just ready to roll, especially since she's the first coach that we see at the beginning of the practice.
Her passion for high school athletics does not stop on the football field.
Fired up, line 2 ready!
She is also the Cardinals' head track coach and is actively involved in the district's cross country and basketball programs.
I love what sports bring to the student athletes that you can't teach in the classroom.
When I asked Nadine why she dedicates countless hours to high school athletics, she referred to a quote.
Since you've been gone, things haven't been the same. And that's kind of my internal motto, is that I want to make an impact where if I wasn't here, they would miss me, they would notice.
And it's clear she will forever impact Oliva Strum athletics.
She's a special person in our program.
It's just like family, just football mom.
We just all love Nadine.
So Brianna, how are the Cardinals looking on the field this season?
Oliva Strum has an experienced roster led by a strong senior class. The Cardinals sticking with their offensive and defensive schemes from last season. Combine that with 9 months of off-season work, and the Cardinals are feeling light years ahead as they train for this season.
A lot of the playbook is stuff that we've done last year, and I think that it's definitely ingrained in people's heads and that we can get it together like a puzzle this year.
Oliva Strum visits Glenwood City on Thursday.
On paper, Pep and Alma looks like one of the strongest teams in western Wisconsin. The Eagles only lost 3 seniors to graduation, and they have leadership everywhere you look. They do have a new starter at quarterback. Maddox Stewart moves from tight end to under center. He learned from Drew Seifert last fall, went to a camp this summer, and has been in sync with his receivers during practice.
Drew, he was a really good quarterback. Big shoes to fill. It's going to be tough, but good thing I got 10 other guys that are going to help me out and stuff like that.
New starter, but expectations are the same. He can make the throws, make the reads, so we'll go, hopefully everything goes as planned.
Look for the Pride Belt at Eagles games this fall. Pep and Alma plays against Elmwood Plum City on Friday.
The Augusta Beavers are building off 3 straight postseason appearances, but they have a lot of experience to replace from last season. Only a few starters returned to the team that finished in the top half of the Dairyland Conference. Beavers head coach Derek Bolt says this is the most prepared he's been for a season. His focus is on putting his players in the best position to make plays and encouraging them to push themselves.
We know they're going to make mistakes. They need to be okay with that. They need to be able to move on right away and learn from them and pick up the ball 15 seconds later and keep going.
The Beavers begin the season at home against Pittsville on Thursday.
5 of the 8 teams in the Dunn St. Croix made the playoffs last year. Spring Valley has won the last 3 titles, but believes Boyceville is the favorite this season. The Cardinals have a handful of injuries that may slow them early. Their goal is to improve each game and put themselves in position to win the league late in the year.
We just need to get as close as we can, keep on doing the right things, and the season will end up where we should be.
Boyceville and Elmwood Plum City both made the playoffs last year. The Bulldogs are going to be hard to stop up front. The O-line has been together since middle school. Boyceville has a lot of speed and a lot of senior leadership. They're ready to put it all together in 2023.
We're going to give it our all. We're going to hit them as hard as we can, and we're going to run past them every play. That we want them to think we're a tough team, know we're a tough team after the game.
The Wolves lost Trevor Asher, one of the state's top rushers last season. They lost 2 offensive linemen on the right side as well. EPC expects its players to know at least 2 positions. Getting everyone up to speed will be huge for the Wolves.
We're going to have to make some plays with new guys other than just one. We need to stay consistent in the weight room, and we need to figure out new ways with the offense to just make things happen.
Boyceville battles Independence Gilmanton Friday. EPC hosts Pepin Alma. Optimistic is the word in Cadott this year. Jeff Gato's program has 13 seniors, all key players. The team's overall numbers are slightly down from last year's record high, but still strong, coming off a playoff victory last fall.
Their strength is their togetherness. They worked really hard in the offseason. The tempo is better, the attitudes are better. I think just building off last year's win helped them. So pretty excited.
We need to not shut down. You know, if some kind of big play or something doesn't go our way, we need to just pull together and get through it and not hang our heads.
1, 2, 3, Vikings! Colfax vows to be the loudest team in the Chippewa Valley this fall. The Vikings spent their summer working on agility training. They're in better physical shape than this time last year. Program numbers are a little low, but climbing. Colfax hopes to climb into playoff contention this year.
I think this season everybody has a clear goal in their mind of what they want to accomplish. They're not here to mess around or any funny business. They want to win, they want to be better, and they want to have fun.
Colfax hosts Whitehall on Friday.
Up next is why moms requested to tackle their sons in Rice Lake. Moms are the ultimate motivators and supporters. You'll see them cheering from the stands every chance they get. Last week, Rice Lake gave its football moms the chance to be on the field and even put on some pads to gain a different perspective. Hit after hit. Moms took on their sons and took them down.
It felt amazing.
All I could hear was roar in my head.
It sounded just like the NFL in my helmet. I was so proud.
10 minutes of fun changed a lifetime of perspective for these parents who didn't have the chance to play in high school.
I like being on the field and seeing it at, that level.
We learned a lot about the complexity and the beauty of football. It's just been so cool. It's almost like you're seeing it through a different lens after today.
It undercuts all that negative stuff, and they see, well, there's a lot more to it than that.
Dan Hill hosted a mom's practice for the first time last year and received positive feedback. This year, the Warriors again welcomed moms to participate.
Down, set, hut, hut.
And even let them put on pads.
And the next thing you know, the moms want to tackle their kids.
Definitely pretty scary. I could definitely tell she was waiting to tackle me.
At the last minute, I did almost veer off and give him a hug because he's really cute, but it was oddly satisfying to hit him too.
They sign us up and do all this for us, and it's really cool having them come and see what they're doing all this work for and seeing what really goes on here.
Rice Lake expects to contend in the Middle Border Conference, but Evan, it's all about how fast Dan Hill can bring his young players up to speed.
Ellsworth has become a perennial playoff contender in the Middle Border. 70 kids have come out for Rob Heller's program this year, the most in his 9 years as head coach. The Panthers have put Ellsworth football on the map by creating a winning culture.
Iron sharpens iron, so we're going at it every day, trying our best, working our hardest. We got a great culture around here, a lot of people in the weight room, a lot of people that want to come out here and work as hard as they can and play on Friday nights.
Ellsworth visits Edgar on Friday. There's no sugarcoating it. Bloomer football struggled last season. The Blackhawks have a younger group with great work ethic this year. This is John Post's 20th season leading the program, and he's mixing things up. New assistant coaches have joined the staff, and new ideas are being tossed around that work to the strengths of this year's squad.
Sometimes things are tough for old guys to change, but I'm trying to let guys throw in things that I probably wouldn't do otherwise, and kind of excited about as it's coming together.
Bloomer hosts Somerset on Friday.
Cumberland has a new head coach who is not new to the program. Tony DeSalvo played for Cumberland in the late 1970s. He's now retired and following in his father Bucky's footsteps by leading the program. The Beavers have been a consistent playoff team. Tony's task this fall is keeping Cumberland disciplined.
We got to play a lot better defense. We got to be great tacklers. We got to pursue the ball. And just play great, solid defense.
Last year we had a lot of games that we lost mentally before it ever showed on the scoreboard. So that's something that I want our team to be way better at as far as our positivity and our mental state throughout the game.
Cumberland clashes with Hayward on Friday. We're going to take one final break, then break down Area 8 player teams. You're watching Countdown to Kickoff. McDonald Central made history last season, winning its first outright conference title in more than 2 decades. The Macs returned a number of starters on both sides of the ball, despite only having 2 seniors on the roster this year. The Macs would love to make a deeper postseason run.
We could go run heavy on you, we could air it out, so you got to be ready for everything, and then the strong defense that we put up too.
This is a good group of kids. We got a lot of kids coming back. We lost some good seniors, but we had some good underclassmen last year, and we got a lot of returning lettermen, a lot of returning all-conference players. These guys are ready to roll.
Everyone's gotten stronger, so I think that with that we're going to be able to move quicker and the ball's going to move a lot smoother.
The Macs will scrimmage this Friday, then open their season on August 25th. Thorpe is playoff eligible this year. The Cardinals have an experienced line, talented backfield, and quick defense. One loss might keep you out of the playoffs this year. This group knows every game is so important. The Thorpe Brotherhood is bonding and working hard to return to the postseason for the first time since 2010.
This team does not stop working. They're always grinding for football. It's year-round. They just want it really bad. We want it really bad.
They want to play for one another. I think our culture is where it needs to be to give us the chance to go for our goal this year.
Thorpe hosts Prairie Farm on August 25th. Speaking of Prairie Farm, the Panthers have 30 players out. That's a quarter of the school. 15 letter winners are back. The Panthers plan to play fast and physical and spread the field.
Everybody's looking great. I mean, the receivers, they're running crisp routes, running backs, they're doing their jobs, and it's all coming together good already.
Gilman returns more than a dozen letter winners. The Pirates have new faces at quarterback, tight end, running back, and 5 of the 8 spots on defense, but those players saw minutes last season. Gilman is stressing ball security. It hopes to extend its home winning streak. The Pirates welcome Lake Holcomb on August 25th. Thank you to the City of Eau Claire for lending us Carson Park today.
We have extended season previews on our sport website at WKOW.com.
And be sure to tune in to Sports Overtime every Friday night for the best coverage of high school football.
Enjoy the games, everyone.